Sick is when they poison for profit. Sick is when they sell you lies in the market. Sick is when they deceive you in the fear. Sick is when the truth disappears. Sick is when the food got names you can't pronounce. Sick is when the chemicals stack up and mount. Sick is when the water ain't pure from the tap. Sick is when they profit off the pain in your lap. They keep you in the system. Don't let your soul be a victim. You will see through the deception. You will rise with correction. Sick is when the air gets sprayed with the sky. Sick is when the soil can't grow what's alive. Sick is when the animals fed on the fake. Sick is when the profits all they wanna take. Sick is when the mind gets poisoned by the screen. Sick is when the truth gets buried unseen. Sick is when they tell you healing ain't free. Sick is when they sell you pain is best. I got free will, intuition in my chest. I won't bow down, I won't settle for less. They trick and they lie, but I still got my choice. I'll speak it out loud with my sovereign voice. Profit. Sick is when they sell you the cure. Sick is when they think we won't notice, but we rise, we endure.
Another awesome song. All right, welcome to the War Room. It is December 10th, 2025, and time is flying. All right, before you know it, it'll be Christmas Eve and Christmas, and then it'll be New Year's, and well, their New Year's, right? We know when the real New Year's is, right? So, uh, and when the real Christmas is as well, right? But, please hit that like and subscribe button. And if you don't mind, please share out. Thank you for the people that have already clicked subscribe. Don't forget to click like. The description for everything, the sponsors are in the links below. It's on YouTube and Rumble. It's the only two platforms we're going on. I think we're still having an issue on Facebook.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I don't know what that is either.
Figure that out.
So it is Hump Day. I want to welcome Nadine and Nikki to the show.
Hi. Glad to be here.
Hi. Well, you sound enthusiastic. I brought the high vibers tonight, guys.
In the beginning of the show, I'm always going around to share it. The YouTube, I share it. I share it to Twitter and Facebook. I share Rumble to Twitter and Facebook. So it's like in the beginning, that's what I do.
Hi, y'all. Thanks for having me.
I hope everybody's had an amazing week. We've been having some pretty interesting chats the last few days. A lot of information. We're not going to do a lot of information tonight like we did this morning. We kind of I feel like we're like having to hurry up and get things certain because you don't know what you have to cover multiple different topics because everyone is different and each person in order to maximum effect if you just cover just one topic then the reaching somebody is lessened, right? The percentage of reaching somebody. So you do it's like a cluster bomb of truth. We do cluster bombs, right? And we just sprinkle the truth out there, like some seasoning in a damn grandma's soup. Grandma's cooking.
Definitely.
So we were talking about, should we just do like one topic, like all the other podcasts do like 20-minute show and then like cover like one topic and then say a bye, or continue like we were doing? And so we're talking about that. So we're going to continue what we're doing, um, multiple different topics because everybody's different. Like I said, different backgrounds, different. I could sit here and share two or three topics and it not really affect anybody's life, but then you get to certain if you got to be able to venture out and from your comfort zone, so to speak, right? And be able to discuss all multiple different topics, so that way you can reach somebody, because you never know what it is. Like what I think may reach people or wake somebody up, it won't even be the video that they want at the end of the show. It's the one about something else. I'm like, well, damn. You see
Right.
what I'm saying? So it's like you have to cover multiple different things because, and right now, like the intro song says, it's about the sickness, right? And the stuff that we put in our body and the stuff that they spray. So,
And
okay.
share your feedback. Share
Mhm.
what you would like us to
Yeah.
cover as well. If you have any suggestions, and we'll go with one that that most
So
people are interested in, because we want to be able to bring things that interest the audience as well.
yeah, it's like you don't you bring different bait because you don't know which one the fish are going to bite on.
That's right.
It's really weird with doing
Okay.
Well,
I'm sorry. I said I noticed that I'll blank out on certain topics. I'm like, damn, I wish I had paid attention. I'm like, why wasn't I ready for that yet? It happens. It just happens where you're just not ready to hear it yet. And then when somebody goes over it again, you're like, I remember I flaked out on that one. So it's good. It's all really going on.
cool.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Oh, okay. You got nothing for 500?
You
You,
But Mickey, you don't do that? You don't flake out on something and then you're like, I notice that I do it.
I don't talk a lot about all the subjects because I just don't know enough about it. And I embarrass myself in other ways, so why do it like that too?
Yeah.
I'm open to all embarrassment. And now I'll get it.
Faith isn't the kind of dynamic faith that I'm talking about. It's not believing in some God in the sky. Faith is my belief about myself. Faith is my belief about the presence of God in me. Faith is my belief about the power of God within me. Faith is my belief about the possibilities of God within me. So you see, some of you probably never thought of the Bible as a book of self-image psychology, but it is. You may have never thought of Jesus as a teacher of self-image psychology. But he was. Because he said, according to your faith, so be it unto you. Whatever you believe yourself to be, you will be that. You will be that. And whatever you are now, you are that because you believe that.
Pretty powerful shit.
What you believe is powerful.
Well, I am who I say I am.
Do great things. You will do great things. Gotta have that faith in
Gotta
yourself.
have faith. Who sings that song? Gotta have faith.
It's easier said than done, but it's true.
So we're going through different times and different generations are feeling the effects of, things that took place in the past generations, going all the way back to the silent generation, right?
Right.
To this point. So this next video, it's about a man and his family and
A millennial.
his kid. Yeah, he's a millennial, and he's going to do a 6-minute clip here, and he's going to talk about the uncertainty of the future and how to raise how is he to raise his children for the future, in a process of watching something collapsing, at the same time they have to return back to the basics, right?
And going into the unknown, right?
It's the great unknown,
Yeah.
right?
But he does a great job expressing it. I think we all kind of feel that way. But I think for the millennials is even more because how we were raised is not what they're going into. So
Right.
he gives a good perspective on his speech.
So this is for educational purpose, but you know, talk about it, so entertainment, educational purpose. Thank you very much. Please go click like and subscribe to the channel. So this is the struggle of being a millennial parent. So I just, like I said, I just want to give people a different perspective, because everybody's, you know, we have the boomers and we have the Generation X, and then we have the millennials, and they're raising their kids up, you know, in an uncertainty. I'm gonna play this.
All right, so look, I'm a millennial. That means I was raised in the gap between the analog.
So we see the different generations right here. The silent. Why was this the silent generation? Does anybody have an? Can y'all put in the chat why they called this the silent generation from 1928 to 1945? I think that my great grandma was born around this. Then we had the baby boomers, but I thought this was the interesting.
Between the analog world and the digital one, between rotary phones and smartphones, between go to college, get a job, and retire at 65 and whatever this is now. We were promised a world that no longer exists. As millennials, we're given a blueprint that leads nowhere. And now, we're parents, trying to raise children, trying to raise the next generation in the ruins of that lie. And I'll be real with you, being a parent is one of the hardest things that I've ever done. Not because of the diapers, not because of sleep deprivation, not even because of the cost, even though it is expensive and things are overpriced. But it's hard because I don't know what the hell kind of world I'm raising my children for. How do you prepare someone for a future that does not exist yet? See, I was told, go to school, get good grades, go to college, get a good job, work hard, buy a house, and then retire. But now that whole system is crumbling in real time. College, that's $80,000 worth of debt with no job on the other side. Jobs, those are vanishing overnight thanks to AI and automation. And buy a house in this market where our starter home costs more than our parents' dream home ever did. And retirement, that's crazy talk. Most people can't even take off the weekend without falling behind. So what do I tell these children when they ask, what should I be when I grow up? Because deep down, I don't know. I don't know what the economy will look like in 10 years. I don't know what jobs will exist, or if the concept of jobs will even still exist at all. Will it even still be a thing? And I damn sure don't know if there'll be any stability left to hand them. We were taught that the world works as a machine, that if you do your part, if you play by the rules, then it'll all work out. But what do you do when the machine is broken? What do you do when the rules change every year? When corporations are replacing humans with code? When a robot can apply for your job, work 24/7, never complain, and doesn't need health insurance? And through all that, we're just expected to be calm and stable and secure for our kids. We're expected to give them guidance, direction, hope, when most days we're just trying to survive ourselves. We are literally watching the planet warm up. The rent is rising. The food shelves are shrinking. The jobs are vanishing. The schools are decaying. The mental health crisis is exploding. And no one in charge seems to care. And yet, we wake up every day and try to do our best, trying to raise kind, strong, intelligent, conscious little human beings in a world that feels like it's falling apart. That's more than parenting. That is resistance. And if you are a millennial parent like me, I just want to say this. You are not crazy. You are not paranoid. You are not weak for feeling overwhelmed. You're just living through the collapse of an old world and trying to give birth to a new one at the same time. And that is definitely not failure. And even though it is hard, there is something we can do. We can stop trying to raise our kids to survive in a system that was never meant for us in the first place. Instead, we could raise them to survive without it. to think beyond it. We teach them how to grow food, how to build, how to repair, how to question everything, how to love themselves, and how to stay rooted in a world that is trying to monetize and digitize every part of them. We can raise them to be sovereign and know that their value does not come from a job title. They don't need to earn their worth through productivity, that they are more than what this system allows them to be. Because the truth is, we may not be able to hand them a stable future, but we can hand them tools for healing, tools for creating, tools for rebuilding. Because whether we like it or not, the system is going down. This American empire is rotting from the inside out. And AI is not just changing the job market, it is revealing how unnecessary some of these jobs were in the first place. And capitalism is not innovating, it's cannibalizing itself just to stay alive. So no, I'm not raising my child to be a good worker in a broken machine that exploits them. I'm raising them to be a builder, a creator, a critical thinker, a healer, a freedom fighter, a problem solver, a truth seeker. Because I think that the world they're going to inherit won't need employees. It will need visionaries. It will need people who remember what it means to be a human. People who can navigate through chaos without losing their soul. People who can build new systems based on love, based on cooperation, based on community, and not greed and control. So yeah, I'm a millennial. I grew up in the lie, but I'm not passing that lie down to my kids. I'm breaking that chain. That means everything that I was taught about security, about success, about survival has to be re-examined and rebuilt. That's the real work now. So if you're a parent feeling this too, then just know that you are not alone. We are all in this together, trying to figure this thing out. Teaching our kids how to swim in waters that we were never allowed to test ourselves. But even in the middle of the collapse, we still have the most powerful tool of all, truth. So tell the truth, live the truth, and raise children who are not afraid of it. Because in a world full of illusion and collapse is the real revolution.
Right, like you said, the jobs that weren't even needed anyway are going to be replaced by AI. So there was like almost like they created these jobs in order for people to just sit in cubicles, right?
Workers.
Just workers, right? Like the office, like them, or you see how they when that in that baby factory, the babies that laughed whenever you tickle them with a feather, they went to families, and the babies that didn't laugh when you tickled them, they were kind of numb. They
Yes.
went and were into the business world, right? And they put that little baby in a cubicle, and then they zoom out above his cubicle, and there's thousands of other just cubicles. So what if everything it was an illusion, and they just had all these people going to these jobs that really weren't required, and they were really just riding the clock, most of them just waiting to be retired,
Right.
right? This pointless jobs, right? So people are being freed. The illusion is collapsing, right? So now we're going back from which we came from, right?
Right. But like you said, their kids, his kids are going to be able to swim in waters that we never got to swim in, right? We got, they can venture into and come up, be visionaries, right? We weren't able to do the visionaries because we had to get a job just to like pay the bills and keep things going, right? So it's going to be a whole different world, and
It's exciting,
by
but
us
it's
and the
scary, ain't it?
future.
It's exciting, but it's scary, and people are
Embrace it.
expecting a sprint when it's a long distance run. It's a
Yeah.
never-ending journey. All right, we just need to finish the race. Don't give up. Don't back down. Right, the urge to quit comes right before the blessing,
That's right.
and you got to be able to tell your grandkids, and grandkids need to be able to talk about you in the future as well. Grandma didn't back down. She was all up out there on Facebook. Look at it. You can see all of her posts right here. Right. So everything will be all your posts, all that shit's public record, right? So if they ever wanted to go back and put together your story, they would literally do that with the lifelog.
Or put it together for them.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that's how they got it set up for all of us.
Yeah.
So right. So future books will be written. We're just living them out right now. We're walking, talking, in the flesh, scripture playing out right before your eyes. Just with different meat suits than the past stories, but we're living out the same stories.
That's right. Three Pack said the system, uh, violent system, rather than protest, unlike the rebellious baby boomers who followed, with the name first appearing in the Time magazine article highlighted their quiet nature compared to their claiming. So,
Everyone's DNA, they use less than a third of the DNA. Did you know that there are immortal genes? Did you know that you have immortal DNAs? Did you know that you have the DNA to grow any part of your body, to change it any way you want to? Did you know you have the DNA of humanity? Did you know that you can turn a predisposition of genetics of blindness into a predisposition of sight? Did you know that you can tap your DNA to not only make you immortal, but reverse your aging? Do your genes have that? Yes, they do. It's what gene fingerprinting is all about in its infantile stages. But it's embarrassing when we really know it. Because the great question is, well, if I have an immortal gene, how come I'm not immortal? You know why? Because you focus only on your emotional means to an end. So your DNA holds what is replicant in you to an experience. You have never gone outside of yourself to create the experience of yourself.
Struggling with God. That's Jacob's ladder, right? And Jacob's ladder, Jacob was Israel.
yeah,
So it's within us all.
that ladder.
Right. Right. So it's within us.
Yeah.
Right. We're fighting on all these outwardly battles, right? And the most important one is within us all. They want you disconnected from that DNA. They want you to give it to AI so they can heal you. You could do it yourself,
That's
right? Jesus, what did he do with the blind guy? What did he put on his eyes? Yeah, midnight clay.
But, well, just like the story of the lady touched his garment. She said because she believed that she was going to be healed so much that therefore she was healed.
There you go.
It's all in the mind.
It's in the mind. You believe it, so be it. That's it. I mean, that's the power of the mind. That's what this is all about, right? All right, so the next one is the parallel society versus the totalitarianism and how to create a free world, right? Also, the last video I showed was from Jason Williams on YouTube. Go give him a follow. This is from Academy of Ideas. All right.
Yes.
Content is made possible by individuals like you. Become a supporting member and access our growing library of membership courses and videos. Learn more at academyofideas.com/members. The real question is whether the brighter future is always so distant. What if it has been here for a long time already, and only our own blindness and weakness have prevented us from seeing it around us and within us, and kept us from developing it? Across the globe, a confluence of factors is destabilizing the fabric of society. Many government institutions are corrupt to the core. Many politicians are so detached from reality that they view those who want freedom as enemies. The legacy media has morphed into the propaganda arm of the government. Instead of seeking the truth, the function of these institutions is to augment state power and demonize those who dissent. To make matters worse, global economies have been ravaged by destructive government policies, and while rampant money printing has created a mirage of economic stability, this mirage is quickly giving way to an ugly reality. Politicians tell us that if we are unhappy with the way we are ruled, then we can express our displeasure at the polls or even run for office. But this is to assume that the democratic ideal is the best way to return freedom to an unfree world. This is to overlook the corrupting influence of state power. This is to forget that the massive bureaucratic class that operates many of the levers of government is not replaced through elections. And finally, this is to assume that state power is the solution to what ails society. Perhaps state power is the poison that is destroying it. A more practical solution to what ails the modern world may be to allow the dead weight of the state to collapse in on itself, as it inevitably will, and to soften the blow of this collapse through the creation of a parallel society. In this video, we are going to explore what a parallel society is, how it played a pivotal role in the fall of communism in Eastern Europe, and how the creation of a parallel society may be our best chance of returning freedom to an authoritarian world. If it proves impossible legally to compel the ruling power to change the ways it governs us, and if for various reasons those who reject this power cannot or do not wish to overthrow it by force, then the creation of an independent or alternative or parallel society is the only dignified solution. The basis for the parallel society was born in the mind of Ivan Yurus, a Czech poet and the artistic director of the rock band The Plastic People of the Universe. After members of this band were arrested in 1976 for refusing to toe the government line, Yurus called on the community of Czech artists to create music labels, publishing houses, concert hall positions, and other such infrastructure that existed independently of mainstream society and outside the grasp of the communist state. Yurus hypothesized that if enough infrastructure were created, an independent society would spontaneously form and function as a pocket of creative freedom in a highly oppressed society. Yurus defined the independent society as a society not dependent on official channels of communications or on the hierarchy of values of the establishment, and as he further explained, the independent society does not compete for power. Its aim is not to replace the powers that be with power of another kind, but rather under this power, or beside it, to create structures that respect other laws, and in which the voice of the ruling power is heard only as an insignificant echo from a world that is organized in an entirely different way. Yurus's idea caught the attention of the Czech Catholic philosopher and mathematician Václav Benda. Benda saw in this idea the seeds of a non-violent solution to the destructiveness of communism. However, for the independent society to have real-world social and political impact, it needed to be extended beyond the realm of music and the arts. For the stifling bureaucracy and heavy hand of the communist government was suffocating all areas of life. And so Benda coined the phrase parallel society to refer to all social, cultural, and economic structures that existed unconstrained by the state. He called such structures parallel structures, and at the height of political oppression in the late 1970s, Benda urged Czech citizens to begin creating parallel forms of education in science and scholarship, parallel political structures, a parallel information network, and free parallel markets that form a parallel economy. And as H. Gordon Skilling explains, outlining the parallel structures which had come into existence or might do so in the future, Benda argued that these might gradually supplant or at least humanize the existing official structures. The rationale behind the creation of parallel structures in the parallel society was simple. As the communist government had a monopoly on force and was too powerful to challenge head-on, it was best to turn away from it and defy it by ignoring it as much as possible. Rather than trying to eliminate oppressive state structures, it was better to build up better ones that could function as alternatives or replacements to the establishment system that was in the process of dying. A well-known communist dissident, Jacek Kuron, captured this rationale in 1980 when he responded to the torching of a communist headquarters by stating, "Stop burning down committees, let us build our own." Or as Ivan Yurus explained, The parallel society began in spontaneous acts of mutual self-defense in different parts of society. Those who take part are active people who can no longer stand to look passively at the general decay, rigidity, bureaucracy, and suffocation of every living idea or sign of movement in the official sphere. And because these people sooner or later recognized that efforts to bring about the slightest improvements in the official sphere were exercises in futility, it was only a matter of time before they said, "Why not invest our talents, enthusiasm, into something that no one will be able to corrupt, that we will be able to decide about ourselves in the end?" The parallel society provided individuals the means to express themselves freely without fear of censorship, and to fulfill their goals and aims without being suffocated by the bureaucracy of the state. Furthermore, individuals felt that by turning towards parallel structures and away from the establishment structures that functioned as vehicles of the state, they were influencing society for the better. The parallel society thus served as a much-needed source of hope in a society which had succumbed to apathy due to decades of communist rule. And in the latter half of the 1970s and throughout the 1980s, this hope inspired people throughout all of Eastern Europe, and the parallel society infiltrated many areas of culture and the economy. "Even my most audacious expectations have been considerably surpassed," wrote Benda in 1988. "It is no longer necessary to show that the parallel society is possible." By the late 1980s, the parallel society in Eastern Europe had become so strong, decentralized, and decoupled from the state that the communist authorities lost their grip on power. The revolution, with closing months of 1989, was a spontaneous product of the massive discontent and the yearning for freedom of the peoples of those countries. It was also a culmination of the independent activities of many citizens as they sought to defend their rights against the party-state system, and to create a parallel or independent society as a challenge and an alternative to it. One of the more famous examples of a parallel structure was the underground film industry in Romania. The communist dictator Nicolae Ceausescu outlawed the possession and distribution of Western films. However, the entrepreneur Teodor Zamfir created a vast underground market smuggling Western films into the country and then translating and dubbing them into Romanian. The demand for the films rapidly grew, and as the Romanian people were exposed to Western culture, their eyes were opened to the full extent of their own oppression. As one Romanian dissident put it, "The seeds of freedom that were planted by the films grew." Zamfir made a fortune off this parallel market, and he became one of the most powerful men in Romania. And in an interview for a 2015 documentary, Zamfir explained, "During the 1989 revolution, everybody was in the streets because they all knew there was a better life out there. How? From films." Given advances in technology and the capacity to spread information, goods, and services across the world, the potential to create a wide variety of parallel structures on both a local and global level is significantly greater today than it was in communist Eastern Europe. And so rather than passively waiting for a political savior to bring us freedom and save us from societal collapse, a more realistic strategy is to actively participate in the construction of a parallel society. We must create all kinds of independent parallel structures, that is, structures unmanipulated by totalitarian power. The creation of a parallel society could amount to, among many possibilities, consuming independent media instead of legacy media, using alternative mediums of exchange rather than government-backed fiat currencies, using social media platforms and decentralized digital infrastructures that promote freedom of expression, or supporting local businesses rather than global corporations that further the agenda of the political establishment. It could amount to creating self-sustainable communities, conducting scientific inquiry or scholarship free of institutional pressures, or consuming resources, art, music, or literature that pays no heed to the establishment status quo. Any action or enterprise that expands the realm of freedom while creatively circumventing censorship and top-down authoritarian or totalitarian control is a boon to the parallel society. For as Egon Bundy, one of the leading figures of the Czech underground, explained, "When the activity of those who oppose the establishment becomes articulated, it will be in forms, methods, and ideas that are totally unknown, incomprehensible, and unacceptable to members of the establishment. And that is how it should be." Once a parallel society is sufficiently established, A society is no longer under the same grave danger as when it relies solely on the structures and institutions that are appendages of the tyrannical state. For if these establishment structures collapse, parallel structures will soften the blow of an economic or social breakdown. Furthermore, parallel structures cater to the authentic needs and wants of the people rather than the political class, and so they tend to be more life-promoting than the establishment structures. As parallel structures develop and solidify, more and more people will instinctively turn towards them, and as the parallel society expands, so too does the sphere of cultural, economic, and political freedom. A genuine parallel society would, by a process of metastasis, penetrate all the important social structures. And as Václav Havel further explains, the ultimate phase of this process is the situation in which the official structures simply begin withering away and dying off, to be replaced by new structures that have evolved from below and are put together in a fundamentally different way. In 1988, a year before communism in Eastern Europe collapsed, Ivan Urus reflected on the growth of the parallel society and on the dramatic social changes that were following in the wake. The parallel society has proven its worth, he wrote, and it is the only meaningful structure that people can create, if they do not wish to remain mere appendices of the political and social structures created by the ruling power. Learn more about our membership, access transcripts, and
So he was basically talking about a parallel society, right, which we have discussed in the past. For, because we discussed, like in the chat this morning, how AI is here. It's not going anywhere, right? And it's going to be run by the tech bros, right? So we create a parallel society where we're not fully, where you don't have to be fully under them and create alternatives, right? So, like he discussed, it's happened in the past where it became so big that the communists lost complete power, right? So you can do it because you can't overthrow AI. You just can't. So
AI's been around since the beginning of time. There's nothing new under the sun.
But the question is, who's gonna be behind it? Will it be us, right, or the technocrats, right? Because if we create a parallel society, then they lose their power. Then you meet in the middle there, so or however they actually just take it over. We form our own society where we have the same exact things. We have people that are very talented. That everyone has a skill. That this is totally possible.
Their country. However, right, told y'all what was going to happen. January 20th, Trump's going to do away with the IRS. And you say, well, what is he going to do? External Revenue Service. The External Revenue Service is where all of America's goods that are exported out of the United States will now be taxed, like every other country does to us. See, if y'all didn't know what other countries, how they work, is all of their law enforcement, military, roads, schools, whatever, the government is paid based off of tariffs. Every time we buy something from China, from whoever, they tax the hell out of us, and that goes towards their country. However, right now, when people buy from the United States, it's tax-free. That's why we get taxed. And just like Trump said, there's no reason to tax an income, then go out and buy something and tax it again. Therefore, there will still be taxes when you go out and buy goods. However, there will not be an income tax. Income tax is obsolete now, starting January 20th, and the House agrees. The Senate is going to sign it. They agree. The whole world agrees. It's how every other country does this shit. So the ERS will now replace the IRS. Our pay is going to go up 30 to 40%, which is absolutely unbelievable. And when Trump was talking about doing this, people were saying, oh, he's a liar. They've already agreed to pass the bill. The ERS, External Revenue Service. All of everything that our IRS pays for now from us will now come from other countries. The External Revenue Service. no more IRS. Told y'all what was going to happen. January 20th, Trump's going to do.
So that's one good thing, right? That we can, that may help, right? What's that? Silver is 62.86, Renee. Yeah, it was 61 something this morning, so it went up. They're saying it's going to go up to $100 an ounce. So those holding silver might want to hold on until it reaches that 100. It may even go higher. We'll see.
So meanwhile, in Australia, if Nepal is anything to go by, then things could start to get interesting. Australia's U16 social media ban starts less than 48 hours. Mandatory age checks, regardless of age, to use search engines begins less than 20 days, which is going to bring them to the 27th of December. This is what happened in Nepal when the government temporarily banned social media. Power of the people. It's this easy.
Are you coming to the tree? They strung up a man. They say
Yeah, but that's like that kind of reminds you like a J6 type scenario thing going on here, like the way they did the. Well, this wasn't. This is like. What? I can't get on the internet. Oh hell no! Burn this bitch down. Burn it down. Get the gasoline, Bubba.
Yeah, we don't want to do that, but you do want to make your voice heard.
So they're using the age verification check as an excuse for them to have to submit to maybe documents, pictures, videos of themselves, anything that
Or biometrics.
biometrics is what they really want. All right, so we were talking about the NFL is fixed, and people were talking about it's almost like it's new. But what I've realized is over the decades, they just repeat some stories throughout each decade, but then it just nothing gets done about it, and they just it's like a rinse and repeat. So this is from 1982. The NFL is fixed. Dan Moldella on the owners, mafia ties, and fixed games.
Yeah, you're telling us then, right?
Yeah. But now the public's more into betting now on their phones, so now the fans are getting pissed off and they're starting to notice that they're shaving points and shit like that, and they're calling for investigations, not understanding that this shit's been going on for a long time, and they're just using it as a recycled story, just like the border. The border's been an issue for 100 years, right?
Right, but for them calling for something to be done,
Right.
that's when AI
It brings everything back.
That's when AI can work in our favor
That's-
because
uh-huh.
it hits the algorithm, and that's why they said your voice is so important. It really truly is, because that's how things are getting done.
Right. I showed y'all the other night with the guy freaking out about the scores, the guy freaking out. Well, we showed that this morning. But here's one of the guys, right? Freaking out. Just a reminder. Let me see. Pull this up right here. Cool. Here was one guy before we play that. So this is kind of like
last night and revealed this shit is scripted. Listen to this.
Have you seen the script? You know,
The NFL got some explaining to do. They thought they was off air last night and revealed this shit is scripted. Listen to this.
have you seen the script? You know who's going to play on? Yeah? Okay. No? Okay. There's 15 seconds left in quarter number 3. Have you seen the script? Do you know who's going to play on? Yeah, I saw it.
Say, did you see the script? Do you know the next play at all? He said, yeah, I seen it. Then he do the evil laugh.
No.
I'll let you know later. What's funny, nigga? What's funny? We got money on this.
Uh-huh.
We got money.
Yeah, you're betting on WWE.
Remember I made the video yesterday when I said, why the
You're betting on which wrestler's going to win, knowing it's scripted. Right? You know Hogan versus Andre the Giant, right?
But that's awesome how they disclosed it, the hot mic, right? And they're like, what?
And now we got the reach of social media.
Mhm.
We got the reach of the algorithms. We can take AI and kick their ass with it by bringing up the past,
Right. So that's why
which is what we're doing tonight.
the AIs can
Yes.
use it as a tool to work in
Hey,
our favor.
if it's on the playing field, shit. Hey, it's just like the weapons, right? If the military has those weapons, then you can have those weapons.
That's right.
So they just and the Pentagon just came out with Gen AI
Uh-huh.
for future warfare is going to be AI. That's what they're racing in, because the other countries are going to. It's all going to be AI warfare. Shit, type shit. You know. But
fuck is the announcer saying something, and then the ref repeated verbatim? It was an interception. That was a legit interception. The announcer go, "Oh, that should be overturned expeditedly. That should be an expedited review." Here come the ref after an expedited review. I never heard that shit. Some of y'all gonna get in here troll. We always hear that, gang. No, you don't. I never heard that.
people are waking up.
Now you mean to tell me they got the script?
Like
And we gonna
WWE. Hey,
fast action. We need reparations.
people know it's a script and they keep voting. That's what's even funnier, right?
He'll watch it. He'll watch it this week anyway.
Oh, yeah, just to find out what else is scripted.
Yeah, exactly.
They
That's
create
why
alternate
people-
channels.
Yeah, that's why people that are still watching the news, I don't get it. I just don't get it because
Yeah.
it's the same thing this fool's going to be doing on Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever the frick. Every night is football night, isn't it? Or some kind of dipshit sports.
Somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, aren't they right? Aren't they ice skating tonight too? Isn't the Olympics on? It's like
Right. Yeah.
go take your freaking dog for a walk, man.
Well, it will help creators anyway for a little bit.
Plenty, a lot of
Tell them
content.
that- Yeah. For
Once that eye's open, once that bell's lifted, oh man. And then people think you're crazy. But then you go back in history and this shit's been going on for a long time. They've been telling us everything.
Yep.
They didn't hide nothing from us. It's been in our face the whole time.
Yeah.
It's just nothing ever gets done about it. And we're still in that phase, right?
That's why it's so important for everybody to speak up like this, whatever the hell he's going to be doing. This guy is totally addicted. He's addicted to watching the next season. But it's so important for everybody to speak up about something, even if you say something simple, like as long as it comes out with love, as long as when you type something out, make sure you're doing it from a love kind of helping, not in a like, oh, this guy's stupid. You can't do it from that way because that'll come back at you. you don't want to. Yeah, you got to do it from a helping perspective, or just don't do it. It's not your time to do it yet.
That's right.
NFL, no fucking luck. This shit ain't luck at all. You gotta hope you betting what they wrote in the motherfucking script. They got more scripts than CBS.
More scripts than CBS.
I gotta hear this.
Have you seen the script? Do you know who's going to play in that one?
Give me the script.
I saw it. No? Yeah. I'll let you know later.
You raggedy bitch.
The
Give it
illusion's
a break.
collapsing, right? It's collapsing. The illusion is collapsing. Because think about that. They thought this shit was real, right? I picked up on it being scripted a while back when the Saints won the Super Bowl right after Katrina.
Right. And
I was like, what, the Aints went to the Super Bowl and
gematria guy does that too.
Yeah.
He can decode it by just the
Yeah, the gematria. Wait till they figure out to do the numbers.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yep.
People were winning big on those numbers too.
That's right.
Once they picked up on the codes and how they do gematria, things with gematria. So that brings me back. Let's go back to, did anybody know that Pat Sajak was on another show other than the Wheel of Fortune? Maybe that's probably why this was like one of his only interviews, because this one was pretty hardcore right here. I'm surprised they put this on TV.
A bombshell book, which just came out last week, and it makes some pretty hair-raising charges against a lot of folks involved with the National Football League. The title says a lot of it: Interference, How Organized Crime Influences Professional...
Educational purposes only. We do not own copyrighted materials. Educational
Out of it, Interference, How Organized Crime Influences Professional Football. Please welcome its author, Dan Moldea. Dan? What are you hearing from the powers that be? Anything?
They just want me to go away right now.
We've spoken to them, and they don't want to talk about it either. They have nothing to say.
But they're not denying anything, and they're not refuting any of the facts.
Let me talk about some of the major charges. And I just jotted down a few of the. I mean, you're saying, for example, virtually every team owner gambles on football teams?
Well, I'm saying that no fewer than NFL team owners have documented ties. Past and present NFL team owners have documented business ties to either the gambling community and or the organized crime syndicate. I'm also saying that no fewer than 70 NFL games have been fixed.
Now that's pretty rough stuff. You're saying no fewer than 70 NFL games have been fixed. You mean the outcome, the point spread, what?
I'm saying the points were shaved and thereby fixed. Yeah.
How does this happen?
Well, I first got into this about 1983. Vincent Persani, who is the head of the Michigan State Attorney General's Office Organized Crime Division, told me, if you're going to do a book about the NFL, Dan, you're going to have to get into this guy, Don Dawson, because he was fixing games. We knew it. I went to my friends and my sources at the Internal Revenue Service, the Organized Crime Intelligence Division. They said Don Dawson was fixing games. I went to the FBI, the Organized Crime and Racketeering Section of the Justice Department, and Strike Force field offices. Everybody told me what Don Dawson was fixing games. At that point, I had enough evidence to print that allegedly Don Dawson was fixing NFL games. He was a major bookmaker in the Midwest. I then went to Dawson. I tracked him down. I jumped through all kinds of hoops to interview him. And when I interviewed him on about the 7th or 8th interview, he admitted to me that he had personally participated in the fixing of no fewer than 32 NFL games.
How does that happen?
He liked to work with the quarterback. He would go to the quarterback would come to him and say, I need some bread. What's the line on the game this week? And the bookmaker would say, you guys are favored by 6 points. And then the reply was, we're not going to cover the spread. And basically that was it.
Now, do you name players?
Oh, sure. I name players. And also in 1979, I go into the specifics of 8 fixed games that were allegedly fixed by 2 referees who were investigated by both the FBI and the IRS. And I list the 8 games on page 308 of the book.
Yeah. Are drugs involved in this at all?
Yeah, drugs are the real variable in all of this. I mean, when a drug dealer has a relationship with a player, there's an extortionate edge to that situation whereby that dealer has that player's career in his hands because of the drug policies within the NFL for throwing a person out. Within the past few years, no fewer than 9 NFL teams have been investigated because their players were receiving drugs from gamblers. Now, I know gamblers who, on principle, refuse to sell drugs, but I'm not aware of many drug dealers who on principle refuse to gamble. And the key here is that the NFL is very aware of the fact, and their worst case scenario is the player who's strung out can't pay his bill to his dealer, and so the dealer comes to him and says, hey, you owe me money, and the dealer says, and the player says, I told you I can't pay it, and the dealer says, that's okay, but now you're going to come and work for me.
Now, the obvious question, you're talking about all these games being fixed. You're talking about all these people involved. You're talking about going to various agencies, and they're saying who the people are involved. Why has this gone uncovered if this is the case?
What I'm also alleging in the book is that no fewer than 50 legitimate investigations of corruption within the NFL have been either suppressed or just flat out killed as a result of a sweetheart relationship between NFL security, which is the internal police force within the league, and a variety of federal and state and local law enforcement agencies. I'm a big baseball fan, and I have more respect for baseball right now because of the way it's handled the Pete Rose case in the open and honest manner that it's handled this case than I've ever had before. I have more confidence in baseball because it's handled.
Well, how do these investigations get quashed?
Basically, the NFL security people, who are all former Justice Department people, will go to their colleagues, their old colleagues in the Justice Department or in these various law enforcement agencies, and they'll say, we can handle this internally. Let us handle internally so that we're not getting all the publicity that we would be getting. And so to all intents and purposes, these investigations I can cite chapter and verse. Again, I cite about 50 in the book.
It is a strange sport because it is the one sport where you can go to a game and come away, even if your home team has won, disappointed because you're not as much interested in the outcome as the post.
Yeah, it's a situation where you have a game where the score is 21-20, there's 30 seconds left on the clock, the home team, you're up in the stands, and the home team has the ball on the 30-yard line. Now, the problem is that the home team had to give 3 points in the game. Now, the quarterback goes down on one knee, and the people in the stands boo. Now, they're starting to legalize gambling in Oregon. They're going to have a sports lottery, NFL lottery in Oregon, Kentucky. Mm-hmm. I mean, the state isn't in the bookmaking business for eleemosynary or philanthropic purposes. Yeah. They're going to be in this to make money. They're going to take a 40 to 60% skim of the handle of the total pool of bets. And in the end, they're going to educate the public as to how to gamble, how to use the point spread. And then the public is going to realize that it can get a bigger bang for its buck from Charlie the bookie, the friendly local bookmaker at the corner bar, who's going to be put up $11 to win 10 and taking a 10% vigorish or commission on the losing bets he books.
Now, is all this, is what you have written here going to get things unearthed?
Well, I'm hoping that there'll be a federal investigation, hopefully the Senate Select Committee, to investigate organized crime's influence in all of professional sports, not just football, but on baseball and basketball as well. I'm hoping that there'll be registration and licensing of anyone with a financial interest in a professional sports team, that there'll be public disclosure of financial transactions involving professional sports teams, that there'll be a further examination of public ownership of teams so that the citizens of the cities in which these teams play, the public can have literally a piece of stock in those companies. I'm also afraid that the illegal gambling economy has become an adjunct to the First Amendment because of the insistence by the sports media to print and broadcast the betting line and to hire odds makers and handicappers for the purposes of...
That is true. You read the newspaper and the point spread is in there, and it's obviously in there to give you information for gambling, which is
gambling is still illegal in 49 states until September 6th when the lottery is legalized in Oregon.
Yeah. We just have a minute here, but when you write about organized crime and involvement, does this give you any cause for concern about your own safety, and should I be doing this interview?
Yeah, sometimes it does. I had a lot of trouble when I was younger, but no one's tried to kill me in almost 6 years, so I feel pretty comfortable right now.
Well, I don't.
This is my fourth book. And I should point out I've never been sued. And I try to treat people with respect, and I think that everybody has something to say. Everyone has an ego, and mob guys are like, human beings. You just have to be able to push the right button with them. Well, I've never met a mob guy who's not against wiretapping. I've never met a mob guy who's not...
lugs, aren't they?
I've never met a mob guy who's not in favor of strong personal privacy laws. I've been bored for hours by mob guys who are whining about the alleged impingements upon their rights and freedoms by the FBI and the IRS.
It's a sensational book filled with sensational charges and a lot of information to back up a lot of them. It's called Interference, How Organized Crime Influences Professional Football. Dan Moldea, its author and our guest. Thanks very much. Thank you, Dan. Take a break and I'll be right back.
All right, so we know where Pat Sajak ended up after this episode, right?
Right. Off there, probably.
Over $40,000 just waiting to be won today as we begin Team Week on Wheel of Fortune. And now, here's your new host, Pat Sajak.
Thank you. Thank you, Jack Clark. Morning, everyone. Welcome to Wheel of Fortune. Please do not adjust your sets at home. Chuck Woolery has not shrunk. A lot of people are playing with a vertical hold right now. As Jack mentioned, my name is Pat Sajak, and I've been fortunate enough to wander onto the set of a very successful program, has been for a long time. One of the big reasons for that success, of course, was Chuck Woolery. Most of you know by now, Chuck has decided to leave the show to concentrate on other areas in his career. He's a very talented actor and singer and songwriter. So I want to take a minute, and I know everyone in the studio does, and all his fans around the country, to wish Chuck nothing but the best.
Where's old Pat Sajak, right?
He was young.
Yeah, he was young. Right. And then we had the meltdown, right, from the betting. And y'all seen the meltdown. So it's
all time. And you have to investigate the Raiders. Investigate the Raiders. What are they doing?
what?
What the? That's the worst beat of all time. That is cheating. What the?
So accurate.
I got to rewind
He's
this.
a crisis
That's
actor.
the worst beat of all time.
Crisis
This is the
actor.
worst beat of all time. Pete Carroll should be in prison. Prison for Pete Carroll. First of all, the refs, everybody. This is prison. This is prison.
It's like
Barstool's Dave Portnoy is going to show once again that
like
he
a
takes
12-year-old
every
damn video game taken from him. Or he just lost in a Madden game with his buddy.
thing way too far.
By the way, the play before this, there was 20 seconds. They threw it. Prison. They spiked the ball, by the way. They ran up and spiked it as a tempo. Prison Pete Carroll. Murder Pete Carroll.
Did he murder?
I want Pete Carroll murdered. Prison.
Because you heard it correctly. Portnoy, whether jokingly or not, made that quip that the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders, Pete Carroll, should be executed.
Murder Pete Carroll.
So when a news outlet requested comment, here was his response.
Newsweek request for comment. Hello, I hope you're doing well. Jordan King from Newsweek here. I'm getting touches. I'm trying to get a hold of Dave Portnoy. I'm covering the backlash to his rant about the ending of the game between the Raiders and the Broncos, in which he calls for the murder of Raiders coach Pete Carroll. Well, I would like to say this loudly, clearly, emphatically. We never want physical harm to anybody based on a decision, a play, anything. However, in the moment, you may be upset by one of the wildest sequences that cost you $250,000. So it is a metaphorical murder. It's like, I'd like to just scream. But we don't want harm. We don't want physical violence. We don't want threats. I disavow real violence. Anybody who thought I was actually calling for him to be murdered and killed so he couldn't breathe, you misread this situation, and I apologize. No murder, no violence.
We already know that is complete BS.
You should just go over to Gaza. We can do unnamed. You can be live
I'll
in
jump
Gaza.
I'll jump on Greta Van Thorsten or whatever that girl. She's sailing there, like whoever that. I hope they hit a missile on her boat.
Well, I hope they.
And his commentary from time to time has featured this.
I never condone rape, but if you're a size 6 and you're wearing skinny jeans, you kind of deserve to be raped.
Correct. I stand by that. I think it's a funny joke.
You think rape is funny?
No, I didn't say that. I think it's a funny joke.
Do you understand how offensive that is?
No.
And
man, where did that guy go?
Right, that's
Holy shit! What timeline was that? What timeline was that? It looks like he's wearing a woman's. I thought it was a chick with short hair for a minute.
It's like
Look at the
Richard
shirt.
Simmons. It was Richard Simmons' time.
There you go.
There.
This could be Richard Simmons's clone.
Yeah, he looks different there for sure.
Yeah, look at his ear. It's kind of like
He could actually be a woman. I mean, let's just face it. Yeah. Just put it out there. See if it sticks.
And the
entertainment purposes only, allegedly.
Yes.
He'll just yell something in his EDP.
All right, so the point of that was to show you the freak out of the people with the rig sports. All right, we covered that today. What else we got? Shoot, the military-industrial complex chemtrail patent proves that the existence of the chemtrails. So we got a 3-minute clip here on that patent because everybody's posting pictures on the chemtrails.
Perhaps the greatest lie ever perpetrated on populations all over the world is the condensation trail lie. What we're seeing in our skies is not condensation. It's sprayed particulate dispersions with very few exceptions.
They shouldn't be there. Jet engines burn clean. So if there's anything coming out of them, it's an additive.
They're absolutely not contrails. Contrails do not linger, dissipate, and go into cloud coverage, period, in the report.
And I kept saying to people, what is this? Because now the sky is no longer blue. It's starting to turn gray. And what I found was kind of like it was not socially acceptable. We're all going to pretend this is not really happening. And I thought, oh, this is very bad.
Most are unfamiliar with a science term called global dimming. That term refers to the amount of direct sunlight that no longer reaches the surface of the planet due to light scattering particles that are building up in the atmosphere. And although many of these particles are from industrialized pollution, the larger majority are from the ongoing climate engineering solar radiation management operations. This engine, a high bypass turbofan jet engine, this is the engine that is on all military tankers and all commercial carriers, is in essence a jet-powered fan. 90% of the air that moves through this engine is non-combusted. This engine, by design, is nearly incapable of producing any condensation trail except under rare and extreme circumstances. And again, we have film footage of aircraft flying at altitude with nozzles visible, turning on and off. That is the end of the argument. Since even before man could fly, there was an effort to try.
That was a few minute clip there with the patent. Y'all want to laugh a little bit? I already played that laugh. I don't think many people laughed at it this morning. I probably shouldn't do it again. No? Okay. Just keep it moving.
Let me answer this properly because a lot of you are quietly asking the same thing. The question was, what will happen to those who fail to remember? Will they be trapped in the simulation forever? Short answer, no, they are not trapped forever, but they are trapped in a loop. Not a burning dungeon, not a cartoon hell with pitchforks, a repeating script. Same classroom, different costumes. You get a new name, new parents, new body, new culture, but the same unhealed patterns, the same unfinished lessons, the same amnesia. That's the trap, not one lifetime of punishment, many lifetimes of forgetting. Let me answer this properly because a lot of you are quietly asking the same thing. The question was...
More scripts than the CBS, right? Running scripts in a loop until you come out of the pattern. You're just running the script. All right. We were talking about how full video. So you see how the towns can look like the power grids. So when they talk about free energy, see how this one's surrounded with a thing of water around it. Egyptian pyramids, microprocessors.
Syrian,
Egypt, computer chips, circuit boards, Teotihuacan, and then this is Orion.
Yeah,
The Great Pyramids. Yeah. This one's cool too. How this is on the floor in one of the cathedrals.
Yes.
Right. But it's also the same way they did the power.
It's like the Oscar over there.
Right.
Well, that's the kind of thing that I have one of those, and you take this, it looks like a stylus, and you kind of try to get out of it. Like you follow along and then you can get out of it.
Oh yeah, like it has a little metal ball.
Yeah.
Like a maze almost.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, they kept that out of our face.
All right. Trump's plan is to give 2,000 to Americans instead of the insurance companies, but the Americans are supposed to use the 2,000 to buy insurance from insurance companies. So that's not only is it willfully insufficient for people's healthcare needs, but it's nonsensical. Right? They give you the $2 grand just to turn around and say, here, hand it right over to the insurance company. Is that
When he said it's a scam, so
right, when they said it was a
maybe
spam,
you
right?
store it up and use it when you actually need it instead of keep paying the insurance. I don't know.
There is a setup to make insurance companies rich. And I want to pay the people, and I want the people to go out and buy their own health care. And that's what we want to do, and that's what the
It pays for like a holistic or stuff you need to heal yourself.
Natural, yeah, because that stuff can get expensive when you start getting your herbs and stuff like that, things you need for your body. Or just start growing it yourself if you live in a certain area.
Right,
To
if
be
you
able
have
to
the
do that,
ability
yeah.
to.
Alright. I played that this morning, right? We just did this one.
Is still there, but the American oil strategy is dead. You see, the United States made a catastrophic miscalculation. They assumed that if they sanctioned Venezuelan oil, the world would stop buying it. But the world is hungry. China continued to buy. India continued to buy. And here is the detail that keeps the US Treasury awake at night. They did not pay in dollars. Venezuela became the first laboratory for a post-dollar oil market. They started selling their oil for Chinese yuan and increasingly for USDT crypto. By sanctioning them, the US forced Venezuela to build a financial immune system. They proved to the world that you can sell oil without Washington's permission. And now the tables have turned. While the US has plenty of oil in Texas, it is the wrong kind of oil. It is light sweet crude. But the massive American refineries in the Gulf Coast, they were built 50 years ago to process heavy sour crude. Without that heavy oil, the refineries choke. They cannot produce enough diesel. And if diesel runs out, the American supply chain stops. So we see the unthinkable. American diplomats are quietly going back to Caracas. They are issuing waivers to companies like Chevron to pump oil in Venezuela again. They are offering debt relief. They are essentially begging the man they tried to overthrow to please turn the pumps back on. This is not diplomacy. This is surrender. It proves that when push comes to shove, the United States needs the Global South's resources more than the Global South needs the United States' permission. But if the situation in Venezuela is embarrassing, the situation in Washington is absolutely terrifying. While the diplomats are begging for oil, the Treasury is begging for cash. This is where the new Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, finds himself in a trap. The American public thinks the Treasury Secretary's job is to manage the economy. It is not. His job is to be a salesman. Every single year, the US government spends trillions more than it taxes. To fill that giant hole, they have to sell paper, US Treasury bonds. For decades, this was the easiest job in the world. The entire planet lined up to buy American debt because it was considered risk-free. But this year, the math has broken. The United States needs to sell $3 trillion in new debt just to survive the next 12 months. So, what happened? Maduro is still there, but the American oil strategy is dead. You see, the United States made a catastrophic miscalculation. They assumed that if they sanctioned Venezuelan oil, the world would stop buying it. But the world is hungry. China continued to buy. India continued to buy. And here's the detail that keeps the U.S. Treasury awake at night. They did not pay in dollars. Venezuela became the first laboratory for a post-dollar oil market. They started selling their oil for Chinese.
Roger, I copy. All switches safe. Controllers grounded. Moving to load.
There's Puerto Rico.
Cap. Buckling cap. Inserting cap. Inserting cap. Shunt. Shunt. Plugging in. Rocker. Shunt. Moving SSG pull pin. 1, 2, 3.
Black 6, this is grade 1, requesting permission to engage.
I'm the chief scout and the team leader for LAR Stay, BLT 36. So right now the 22nd MU is receiving a period of instruction on the attack drone capabilities that the Marine Corps is wanting to invest into. So we're learning how to fly them, how to build them, how to arm them, and how to strike targets. The 22nd MU, after this course concludes, is going to be the only operational unit in the Marine Corps that will have an attack drone capability, which I think is pretty significant because this thing allows you to launch outside of line of sight. We don't have to push scouts closer to targets. It's going to help preserve life and also just help us find and fix and destroy targets much further.
Green.
1, 2, 3.
The BLT and the MU are always in an ever-changing environment. We've constantly had different things thrown at us throughout this deployment. This gives us the opportunity to adapt to that environment. I do believe this is the future of warfare for the Marine Corps, and it starts with us.
Bomb on target. Apers, 4-meter hob, 30-second SST.
Roger, I copy. 1 by Acre, 4-meter hob, 30-second SST, over.
Good readbacks.
Roger, moving to load.
Go at VTX and battery check. Over.
VTX check.
Go with prop check.
Setting.
Prop check good.
All switches safe. Controller is grounded.
Roger, I copy. All switches safe.
Controller is grounded. Loading warhead.
Warhead.
Second Marine Division, Expeditionary Unit, Fleet Marine Force. Right, so they're down in Puerto Rico, testing the drones, right? And that's what's going to show up first in any situation to save lives, right? They're going to use all this technology. If you're you do something stupid, you're going to have drones flying in. You're not going to be able to attack anybody. So they're just going to come in and assess the situation so they can figure out what they need to come in with. Let's say
Robot dogs.
Yeah, or maybe even drop something on your ass.
Robot horses.
Robot horses.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Here we go.
Hey guys, Ice, I want you to pay attention. When I told you I was going to track you and find you, I didn't mean just now. I meant in the past, so... See, a little while ago, there was a mass of children that went missing in Virginia. So much so it made the internet, and of course there was an old story and a new story, but there was something underneath that, so much so that you can send a media release, that's yours. In Virginia, the ACLU got involved. The other night, a license plate pinged, and I knew this plate. The number was familiar. It was in the back of my head. I had seen this plate somewhere. So I broke out some of the old records and old paperwork, and because I still like paperwork. It's just tangible, right? And I had seen this plate, and the first time I saw this license plate number was in a report from 2013. It's a missing child in Virginia, 12 years ago. Same license plate, same van. So then I got curious, and that one started. Oh, it's a gray Dodge Caravan, by the way. License plate PZYC48. Now, mind you, this is all public information. Now, I was with a young man with the name of Ethan back in 2013. Same area, again, 2017. Same area, again, 2018. Same area, again, 2021. Same area, again, 2023. All Virginia. But then there was more. I had seen that more recently. I was in Carolina's missing person dossier. I was in the BTC Pompano in Florida. I was also license plate tracked there. I told you I would track you, not just off one data point. I am going to take this and all this information, and we will give it to the Virginia State Police. We'll package it up and give it to the Federal Bureau of Investigations. Because what's in the light now has been going on for so much longer, and I feel that these families need closure. They need to know that that vehicle, that plate, was seen at the location of every one of these people that were reported missing by their family. I stayed up all night going through decades worth of information to find that plate number in correlation with 37 missing youths. Over here, I have 9 more, all tied to 2 different plate numbers. I started in 2018. Here, we have 12 more. Now I'll find the plates on. You pieces of shit. For over a decade, a families, been wondering what happened to their child. See, and we knew you were involved. I mean, we did all of the tracking. And then our eyes got open and we dug more. You fucking sons of bitches. How long did that family wait up for their kid to come home? Do they even know? We'll do our due diligence and handle this with care and caution. We'll hand it over to the appropriate authorities in the jurisdictions. We won't break the news to the families. Some we already have, because we have concrete evidence of where their child went, what happened. Shame on you. Shame on all of us. For 12 years, they probably looked for answers. 12 years. Your day will come. I promise you. You have added more fuel to my fire than you could even believe. You thought I was taken before. Oh, baby, we're just getting started. Stay free. Hey, guys. Ice, I want you to pay attention. When I told you I was going to track you.
Go ahead.
He was talking to ICE, right? ICE was put in after 9/11, right?
Mhm.
After 9/11, and like he was talking about, these kids came up missing, tracked plates with ICE. So it's been going on for a while, a lot under our noses. Under our noses, right? And so this is disclosure, and they're obviously still working on getting these kids, finding out where they are, how to get them home, back to the parents that are being taken by ICE. So Tom Holman was involved in that with Obama, under Obama. Now he's in there today. So a lot going on with that.
All right, so we have. Oh, my share's moving back. So a lot of disclosures taking place right here in front of our faces. So I'm going to show something right here real quick, so we can see everyone here is wearing a yarmulke, left and right. So when we say this, the two bird, right, two different wings of the same bird, this is what we're talking about. You see both sides. They just released some money for more weapons for Israel, I believe here. Right, all of them have that on. You also got a Trump one right here, a Trump yarmulke down here at the bottom. Well, you see the Trump yarmulke?
Yep.
That's the new red hat, I guess. But here they are, right? Lighting candles. Is this a shaming ritual? I've never seen. Have anybody ever seen this before? Have I just been had my head up my ass and I'm just now? Have politicians always done this so openly like this? Like,
No, they're showing you what they've been doing.
okay, because I feel like I'm.
Right, because it was never open like that.
Yeah, because I don't want to sit here and go, well, look at this, and you look back and they've always done it, and I'm like, holy shit.
No, you're good.
I mean, think about it. How often did you ever really see the president? Usually,
Where
I mean,
have I been?
the only time I watch the president is like a State of the Union or during, when they were running. But like, I've never seen a president day on every single day like now. So it's disclosing a lot of stuff as well.
Right, and this is why we don't see the EPSTEINFIELS being released, right?
Never
Because
will.
both sides are in agreement that neither side is going to do anything, so they put on a theater for you to make it seem like the Democrats voted to release it, and that's bullshit because they don't want it released either. And it's the whole theater that they just put on. Yeah, look at this.
Deeper than just
This is great. I didn't know. Is this something like so? Are they're not Christians then, right? That means everyone's Jews. GUICE.
They don't have to necessarily be, but they have their support.
So this is showing solidarity with that nation, right?
That's important to remember. And thanks, Mr. Speaker, despite all the difficulty for making it here today.
Sure.
Or an American Jew, however you phrase it, that I go to sleep easier at night knowing that at the helm of our nation and this institution of Congress are people who recognize the value we give this nation. So I think that that's important to remember. And thanks, Mr. Speaker, despite all the difficulty, for making it here today.
Sure.
Yeah, besides all this show, yeah. This everybody get to come up and speak. Oh, just Mike, Big Mike Johnson. Probably ain't he's y'all know where he's from, right? Or where he's out of, Louisiana. I don't think he's ever. Anybody got any pictures of him eating any crawfish? Any crawfish ball? Any boudin? Is he eating anything? Chitlins? Does he have a Cajun accent? Does he use hot sauce on everything?
He's eating challah bread. He's not, he's on this crawfish. No, he's
That
eating
man don't
challah
even
bread.
know what a crawfish is.
I don't
think
even
he's
know
had
what a
any frog
crawfish is. I
legs?
think it's got a lot of legs.
Oh Lord, Nadine, you got to come to Louisiana.
I don't know if I'd get along with. I don't eat shrimp, lobster, none of that.
Stay in New York.
That's all the good stuff.
Yeah.
Crawfish roll.
Crawfish etouffee.
Oh yeah, that's really
Man, what you don't know nothing about that.
crawfish gumbo.
You don't know nothing about that.
Don't threaten me with me anytime.
Right.
Oh, I'm hungry.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I'll stop talking about food right now.
All right. I got a third video I have here loaded up. I want to show real quick.
This is crazy as fuck. I need everybody to save this video just in case it gets taken down again. I just did a video about 30 minutes ago. I've been trying to get it appealed. The appeal did not get approved. Anyways, I presented some identities, okay, of certain ICE agents located specifically in Chicago. A group that I associate myself with went through some public records and found over 2,000 ICE agents, right? Well, throughout those 2,000 ICE agents, specifically 121 of them, right, had experience as an ex-IDF soldier. If you went up and down this entire list of individuals, you'd notice that their last names in particular, right, all lead back to one specific location with no other job experience. And maybe it won't let me post it because it's personal information. I have no idea. But there's literally a whole motherfucking list of these people and they all look the same. Which tells me exactly why they're choosing to hide their faces, because just imagine, right, if some information like that were to get out. Which is why I'm making this video once again. I'm just saying, if you look into the background of these specific individuals, you might notice that they're not exactly a U.S. citizen. That in itself would prove everything, especially why they're acting the way that they are.
Right.
Right, like where's that? Where the guy said there was over 2,000 ICE agents too, and what he's found so far is 200 and I don't know the exact number. 200 and something of them are former IDF agents.
Israeli Defense Force.
This fruit, looks like coyote poop, I know, could help you detox fluoride from your brain. Multiple studies have shown that tamarind at a dose of 10 grams per day increases human urinary fluoride excretion. Fluoride is an element that's added to our drinking water that accumulates avidly in our pineal gland. This is medical science. The pineal gland is the most single saturated part of the human body with fluoride. Studies have consistently linked higher prenatal and childhood exposures to fluoride with lower IQs. It's been demonstrated in multiple cohorts across the world. There are multiple studies in animal models correlating higher levels of fluoride in the pineal gland with higher levels of calcification of the pineal gland and lower pineal gland function. Furthermore, there are also studies in animals showing that limitation of fluoride increases the growth of pineal cytes, the actual cells of the pineal gland. The pineal gland is often thought to be the seat of the soul. Who knows about that? But the pineal gland does produce melatonin, a hormone critical for sleep and wake function. So if you want to improved growth and possibly a better function of your pineal gland, consider adding a little bit of tamarind to your diet.
Sorry. So what did he say? It wasn't poop? What? Tamarind?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Tamarind.
good. It's you get it. They have it at the store sometimes. Like at ours, it's by the vegetables or the fruit. Sorry, and it's where like the dried Mexican peppers are, and then they have that, and you can make it like add it to your smoothie. They can make Hispanics make a what was that called? That drink with the milk?
Horchata. Horchata?
Horchata. Yeah, it's really good. That's really good.
See, you can tell I'm from Texas, but you can't tell Mike Johnson's from Louisiana. Come on, man. Who voted for that dude? If he couldn't even like speak a little bit of French, then he shouldn't even been like got a vote. Like you're supposed to have some local representation. People that sound like you, right? Have your same culture, same background.
Like
Came up from the swamp.
Bush was sitting there eating barbecue, right? Like, come on.
Like they showed George Bush from Yale eating barbecue as a rancher in Texas and played that on the news. It's like that was who he was.
Such propaganda. Come on.
And in reality, they're like drug, a whole other,
A whole other level.
whole other world. Anyways. Anything else going on, guys, before we roll out of here? On this fine Wednesday night. There's some things breaking in the Charlie Kirk situation. It's something to do with the military and Charlie Kirk. So that's going to be interesting. The military men that surrounded him when all that took place. Did you notice? They were all like freaking 30, 40-year-old, looked like they were from Blackwater security. Right. Like there was 20 or 30 of them. For just a podcaster. Ain't that crazy?
Yeah.
Just a podcaster. Allegedly. Well, we know what it was. Hindsight's 2020. But take care of each other. Take care of your pets. Look into shit before you put it into your body. Same with your pets and these injections that they're rolling out. That these veterinarians are going to be pushing. So you got to get that money, right?
Right, and if you look at the ingredients now, they're putting bioengineering, right? Right on the package. We saw a whole bunch.
Yeah. So veterinarians are actively administering these experimental shots for rabies. That's really what they come. So just a reminder on that. Going into the Christmas season here, shit should fire. A lot of things should fire up. You might get, man, it might get real interesting between now and New Year's. That's all I could say. Because the way things are just flying off the shelf right now.
Yeah.
Right. But stay grounded. Stay united. Don't let them keep you divided. You got to put aside your differences. And let's re-examine things with our new set of eyes, right? And maybe make different decisions than we made in the past, or maybe even different stances than we used to have. It's okay to change. Right? It's all part of growing. It's okay to shift. Right? And some of you, even if you don't want to, you're going to be forced into it because it's just the direction. You can't stop. That's what I say. Nothing can stop what is coming. Is just more than what we can even imagine. Right? Some people say it's AI. Some people say it's us. Right?
Probably all.
It's all the above.
Because the new
Right.
era is coming, whether
Yeah.
you like it or not, whether they're ready for it or not. So get your heart and mind prepared and take one day at a time. Right? Just live in the moment and deal with whatever happens to you that day or the next day. No sense thinking and worrying and stressing and is it going to be this or is it going to be this way? Just take one day at a time. And you'll make it through.
Everything's going to be fine. Nothing can harm you. Nothing can touch you. Just know that. Your own fear will be what is all you need to be worried about. Right? You need to tame that one. Get rid of the fear.
That's right. Don't lose yourself in it.
Right.
You have to be
It's the invisible enemy, guys. That's all it is. It's all invisible. They can't touch you. AI, it can't touch you. It's freaking doesn't even have a body. Now, when they put it into like robots and synthetics, it's a whole other ball game. But, right, nobody can. You have free will, but just now we can be more informed about our decisions, right, going forward. Right.
Yeah, I think that a lot of our people were like, we always try to do everything right. All of us, like that's just how everybody seems, and it's hard to get away from like doing the good girl stuff. Like you're supposed to do this, you just try to do the right thing, and then you find out all the right things were kind of not right. So it's a weird transition.
It is for everybody. Because it is going into the unknown. We don't know exactly how all this is going to be played out or what. Like Steve's talking about the jobs, the economy,
right?
All that. So if we got this though. If we all come together and work together. Right?
Like if you've already been making it through the struggle, that most people would think is a struggle, but in reality, it's if you've already had these challenges throughout your life, then this is going to be a cakewalk. Right. But if you haven't been challenged, right, financially or maybe in the process of losing something or separating yourself from something that's been enslaving you, maybe God like the way this works is like the things that you think are for you are really against you, and maybe God has to put you in a situation, or the Creator puts us in a situation to remove those things in order to bring in the new thing. Right. They just strip away these attachments that we have to certain things and realize that we can't do it without.
Put you on your correct path. Maybe that wasn't the path we were supposed to be on, right?
Right. Your purpose in life wasn't.
You can excel at. Maybe there's another
path
that you'll excel at. You didn't even know.
Yeah, and think about that for your grandkids and as well. They'll have a different opportunity than maybe a better chance. But that's it. Have a great rest of your night. We're going to get out of here, and thank you for joining us. Please click like, share, and subscribe, and we will be. Please join us on the Telegram chats in the morning. We have the QR code at the top right. If you want to join us, it's also the link is in the description below, the top left for the Telegram. And we are out.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone. We love y'all.
They taking profits while they strip our rights. Corporation whisper in the dead of night. Government sold out, but we still stand tall. Constitution's ours, we gon' break that wall. We ain't slaves to the system, we ain't blind. Truth in the rhythm, power in the rhyme. Voices of the people rising from the street. Baseline hitting hard, freedom on the beat. Ooh, we the people, we the sound. Turn it up, shake the ground. No change, no fear, no lies. We rise, we rise, we rise, we rise. We the people, we the sound. Turn it up, shake the ground. No change, no fear, no lies. We rise, we rise, we rise, we rise. They want control, well locked in their hand. But we the heartbeat, we the soul of the land. State to state, voices breaking through the noise. voice. Power to the people, power to the choice. We ain't taking orders, we ain't buying round down. We the revolution when freedom's crowned. Arms in my feelings, vibe pure and strong. Ear switching sound, it's the people's song. Oh.